This hour's top stories.
First this hour, it's U.S. President Barack Obama addressing the graduating class at Notre Dame University today. That was despite protests from anti-abortion activists who said Obama had no business speaking at a Catholic school. The student body gave Obama a warm welcome. In his speech, the president called for understanding on both sides of the abortion issue, despite a sprinkling of hecklers in the crowd.
Maybe we won't agree on abortion, but we can still agree that this heart-wrenching decision for any woman is not made casually. It has both moral and spiritual dimensions. So let us work together to reduce the number of women seeking abortions.
At least 5 protesters were arrested outside the hall during Obama's speech. The activists say Obama's support of abortion and stem cell research goes against Catholic teachings. Solon Simmons is a professor at George Mason University's Institute for Conflict Analysis and Resolution. He specializes in American politics, and he joins us from CTV's Washington Bureau. Professor Simmons, how would you grade the president's performance and message today, particularly those concerned about abortion and stem cell research?
Well, Barack Obama gave a very interesting address, a very powerful address, as he often does. And I think what we saw here was the enactment or putting into play of a theory of conflict resolution that is very different from Barack Obama's predecessor, George Bush, which is to lean in on the most difficult and divisive social issues and to try to bring about a culture of respect. And he did exactly that. And one might have wondered, why did he go to Notre Dame right now and have this conversation about abortion when he's facing such important issues on health care, on the banking industry, and on the economy, as well as the war in Iraq? And I think he did it because he knows that he has a Supreme Court fight coming up, and he does not want to have this spill out into a damaging way in that fight. And he also needs to build that Catholic support. And I think we're realizing that the Catholic community is as diverse as any other community in the United States is. This against a unified message from the top, but that unified message in the United States doesn't always trickle down into the followers, and he realizes that as much as anyone else, and he was reaching out to those people in the crowd. And if you watch them, you saw that there was a lot of support. The heckling was on the sides, and the students seemed to really enjoy this oration. So I think he did a very good job.
And you're saying that this is more of a preemptive move, a message on his part today. Notre Dame school leaders say a college or a university should be a venue for freewheeling discussion without endorsing the views of any particular speaker. However, in this case, do you think the Catholic University was tacitly endorsing the president's views on stem cell research and abortion by conferring the president with an honorary degree?
I think not, and I think the fact that George Bush had spoken there previously is evidence that they weren't. But I think that there's a sense that the Catholics shouldn't be wedded to any political party. There's a danger of becoming part of a small tent party that has been introduced with the culture wars in the 1990s. If you think about the role of conservatism in the United States, it's a little strange to have conservatives here, this being a very modern nation, conservatism being linked to a feudal society. Catholics were important in bringing that conservatism back in line into the mainstream. And I think that the Catholic leaders today don't want to be cast into that backward-looking glance. And so I don't think that we see any endorsement here, although I think there was a lot of warm feeling toward Barack Obama today.
And finally, going forward into the future, do you believe institutions of higher learning are going to be more or less free to invite potentially polarizing views on campus? Or do you think they're going to be more cautious, inviting ideas that reflect more likely society's mainstream?
Well, I think this was very successful in opening that debate. I think that this is going to be seen as a very positive move. It's going to be a positive moment for Obama and a positive moment for Notre Dame. I think the speech came off very well, and in that sense, we'll probably see that this was a good gamble, that his theory may well work, and that people are excited to see diversity of viewpoints, even in a place which might not be seen as open to this kind of a abortion position.
Solon Simmons, a professor at George Mason University's Institute for Conflict Analysis and Resolution. We thank you very much for talking with us.
Thank you for having me.